Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. I was going to say Sunday because it feels like Sunday because it's kind of like the end to the weekend. Like Matthew went back to school yesterday and then my dad goes back to work tomorrow. So it's like, yeah, it's like Sunday. No, happy Tuesday already. So today was my dad's birthday. So like his actual birthday, even though I was telling you guys how we were celebrating his birthday yesterday because again Matthew was home and everything like that. But today we had still stuff that had to get done sort of, and just like catch up stuff too for my parents being gone from on vacation, you know, kind of almost over the last week because they left on Wednesday of last week. So there was still, and like again too, when everybody came home it was like, you know, like we couldn't really get to anything, and then again too doing stuff with my dad and celebrating yesterday, like that kind of stuff. So today though, I woke up again to the sound of construction material going and banging and I guess construction noise, like practically was right above my bed because that's where my dad was working. And so upstairs we have along our like sloped, like slanted roof, we have our like it was dormered, not the other side was dormered out, but it was finished only up until a point. So what but what we realized was they actually did put like the flooring down in like this area that was kind of like almost like a little, it had like a little cubby kind of door, like a little half door, because it was on the sloped roof. And so in that space though they had like well I guess we put in though like clothing rods and stuff like that so that we could hang clothes, so that like it was kind of just like a little closet space in there. However, due to other spacing issues, I guess sort of in the attic, we decided to just turn that all into finished space now, which is going to be my dad's like closet slash office kind of space. Like he's going to probably have his dresser in there, maybe like a clothing rod, and then also his desk in there as well. So it's not going to be like shut off, like there's no door in there anymore, like but like we ended up like that's what we're gonna do in that space, like just so it's kind of like a walk-in-ish closet-y kind of space. But because especially too my dad didn't have like enough room for his dresser and desk, so we were like, well, we could just expand that and then turn it into that. But what we ended up doing was to save on construction material, all that kind of stuff. We're just reusing all of the wall, the 2x4 basically that they ended up putting in. Like that ended up like they used to finish it, and where the door was we put the like a stud in between where the door was, because we're not going to use it for a door anymore. We're just going to completely fully finish it. And so because of that though, we ended up getting my dad ended up taking the whole thing and moving it today. So he didn't re-secure it, he just took all of it out, which involved a lot of power tools and stuff like that because he had to like cut the nails. And a lot of banging and other noises were going on, like I said, right above my bed this morning. So he ended up getting it out and has the whole wall is still built in one piece. It's just we're gonna move it and then re-secure it into the new spot. So anyways, he was doing that this morning. That's what sort of woke me up. Then we ended up going to, we had to make a run to Menards. We needed well, we needed to look for a window for upstairs and check to see if it was the right size, which we think we found the right size. We just have to check with the person that's putting it in and make sure that they've got it, like, you know, that we're good for like the it's like a pre-hung like window, and so we have to double check and make sure that all of that is good and will work. So anyways, they ended up, like, we looked at that, so we think we have the right one. We had to get dog food, we also had to get potting soil, and I thought there was one other thing we ended up getting. Oh, the other big thing was to get our cabana curtains hung up outside. We ended up getting, originally we were trying to figure out a really creative, clever solution because the like cabana curtains that we have for our back deck, they're really nice, they're really heavy duty. The only thing is that they were supposedly like sun resistant. They're very sun faded, like compared to how they were originally, because they're brown. They have a lot of like sun bleach stains in them. And so because of that though, I'm like, maybe we want to move to like white or something like that possibly. But either way, we were looking at them because they're really nice, like heavy duty quality, and they have they're like water resistant too, which is also really nice. However, they're on like the pieces that go on the pole are actually fabric. They're not like the grommet. Like the ones that I have in my room have like the little grommets on them, which makes it super easy to like slide them. These ones have they're just like not like loops of like fabric. Makes it harder to slide them on the like the rod outside. And so we're like, the only person that can normally do it is somebody that's tall. So like Jack or my dad has to like go and like get them unhooked, because sometimes they'll even get too like if they get too close to wood, sometimes they're hard to slide because they get kind of like snagged a little bit, or two, they'll get like folded up inside of each other almost too. So while me and my dad were like walking around, we were trying to figure something out. We're like, you know what we could use? We could just use and hook the loops through is just shower curtain like hoops, like the shower curtain, whatever they're called, little things that hold the shower curtains on. So we used some metal ones that we actually have the same kind in our bathroom, and so we ended up getting those, and they were awesome. So my dad was hanging those up today, actually in the afternoon. He didn't get all of them hung up, but he ended up working on that while we were grilling, which we ended up grilling for dinner tonight. So we went to Menards, look for that. We ended up then also going to Aldi, and we had to go to Walmart too. So at Aldi though, we ended up getting the one thing that was really, we kind of needed a little bit. I saw that they had, for 50 bucks, they had the offset umbrella like weight, because we got my mom for Mother's Day an offset umbrella, which is huge. It actually covers our entire space behind our garage. Like, it's so perfect. It's really nice. But we ended up getting that. The thing was, we realized that you have to have like a separate base, and it doesn't say that anywhere in there. So we thought that like the kind of like base that they were showing, which they do show in the pictures, but then they don't say that it's included or not included. So we kind of thought that, like, you know, again, what was pictured was what we were getting, and when we ordered it, it wasn't. And so they show like one picture with the base, and then they show another one without it. And so like I said, we kind of thought like, oh, like that must be the piece for the base or whatever. You can technically secure it to the ground if you like use like stakes in it to put it in the ground. However, we're doing it in our pea gravel area back behind our garage, which we have like what's it called, like plastic down that we don't want to puncture any holes in, because then we have a tendency to get a lot of like weeds to grow in that if we end up doing that. So we, like I said, didn't want to do that, and that's really the only way to kind of secure it. But on top of that too, it also needs like weight. So these ones are really cool. They're like 4 separate pieces, and then you can either fill them up with water or sand. We have paving sand, a lot of paving sand in the garage for some reason. I don't know, it was something someone was going to do at some point, but we're not using it. However, the paving sand's like kind of, it's not very dry, and so it was very hard to get into there. So my dad just ended up going with, let's just fill them up with water, because you can do one or the other. So we ended up doing that, and it actually worked really awesome. So we have that in the back now for that, for the umbrella. And then on top of that too, we ended up also getting, which I saw they had on clearance, was a like a composter that's like a turn composter, kind of like a rotating composter, because we have one in the back, but it doesn't get turned enough, and I also don't think that it's in the sun enough either for it to, where we had it the first time I think was good. Now it's like hidden behind the garage and the fence, so it doesn't get warm enough, I don't think, even in the summer, like, and it should be exposed to like direct sunlight really, and so I don't know entirely if it's like working as well as it should be. But the composter that we found at Aldi was only 25 bucks. Is not nearly as big as the one that we have, but I know that also too that they have some very similar ones at Menards, which maybe we would look into as well. But if they had two, if they still have this one though that we ended up getting this week, if they still have the other one next week, we'll probably pick it up and have 2 of them, because I think then in total it'd be about 30 pounds or 30 cubic feet or whatever it is of compost composting, which like I said is still smaller than what we currently have and have been using. But again too, I just think that the one we have, it's like too big. Also too, it's back behind our garage where we have our like our, you know, kind of like I don't know, sitting space kind of back there. So nobody really wants to smell the compost back there either. So we wanted to get rid of it or move it or something like that. And again, too, we're thinking of getting potentially just ones that you turn because they're kind of a little bit better for like that kind of use. And also too, because we don't do a ton of composting. But like I said, you know, just to have them so that we can add the organic material back to the vegetable garden beds is really nice. So anyways, we ended up picking that up. Then like I said, we came home, we ended up grilling for dinner. So at Aldi too, they also had their like family or party size pack brats, which I ended up getting 2 packs of. They were $6.99 and they have 12 brats in them. So I ended up dividing those up into 3 freezer dinners per box, but we used one of them for tonight. So I actually have 5 packs of brats that have 4 brats in them each, so that again too we can grill and do those at, you know, different times. So we ended up doing the brats for dinner tonight. And then like I said too, my dad was also hanging up those curtains that we got, the shower curtain, you know, little hooks for as well. We ended up getting a handful of things done, you know, like I said, my dad got to some stuff, we got to a little bit of outside stuff. And then too, so tomorrow I'm hopefully my dad, I don't think he has too much that's going on, but I'd like to have at least the curtains hung up and the lights hung up in the backyard would be awesome, because that's really kind of the last thing. And then my mom said that on Friday we would probably go to Menards and pick out whatever plants we're going to do for our potted plants and our window boxes and like all that kind of stuff, and probably whatever we still need for the vegetable garden bed. Because I did realize today, I was looking, the ones that we still don't have planted yet, but my mom bought with my aunt at like a greenhouse a few weeks ago. She actually, I think, bought tomatoes. So, but I think we have 11 tomato cages. So we normally do a ton of tomatoes, but she didn't buy 11 of them. I think she bought maybe like 2 or 3 or something like that, but so we could still probably pick up some more. So anyways, I want to do at least a plan too before we go and figure out like what do we want to get before we end up going to the store, you know, or to Menards or wherever, at the other greenhouse that we might end up going to as well, because normally we do both, a local greenhouse and then also Menards as well. But I would like to go there before, you know, like, and figure out a plan before we end up going. So anyways, I will see you guys though all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, I'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all very soon, shiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.